My name is Tom Medlock, and this is Sprint 6. So this week, what I worked on was I worked on the Wave Manager for right now. This is the first iteration of my document. I worked on the Player Manager and the different spawners that spawn the different critters. So they kind of simulate the level 1 right now. So yeah, if you go ahead and you look in here, this spawner, it'll set the segment length, and then it'll spawn the centipede passing the segment length. It kind of handles all that. But then there's a wave manager here that goes ahead and it takes in all the values from the document right here. This is the first iteration, so this is not exactly how it might appear in the end, but for right now, this is how I had it. I was trying to do like a little bit of a robust system, so if you gave a garbage value, it'd let you know that that's not the value it's supposed to be, and it would set it to a default. So yeah, me and my friends, in the class, we're obviously talking about the way that we thought that the file should be. So right now, we're just kind of testing this out, seeing how things work. I got the HUD done. The HUD is controlled by the player manager, and it controls the lives. And then there's also the text controller, which is basically the high score and the current score. So if you go into the lives manager, it handles all the lives there. And then when it initializes, it goes ahead and it makes little glyphs. So I kind of adopted the system that you used for your lettering, for the scores, but instead I have it making glyphs. And it constructs the glyphs and it hands them the position that they're supposed to be on the screen, so that when the time comes to draw the lives on the screen, all it has to do is go through the list and just in order it to draw itself. So if you look in here, it just draws. That way it's not very intensively demanding on the system every time it draws. The same thing for the scores. It starts out, and I basically took exactly the fly weight system that you used, and I basically had it just draw the high score and the actual score every frame. But when it changes the actual score, it'll be told to update the score, and that's when it reconstructs the list of the actual glyphs. So if we're going to go ahead and go into this system for right now, and I kind of have it set to simulate like a level 1 wave. So you can see over here I have little messages. Right now there's 5 streams on the bottom, so there should not be any flea being called. Now a flea is going to be called because there's less than 5, as you can see. So he should be coming any minute now. I have it set to about 10 seconds after it detects that there's less. There he is right now, after he detects that there's less than 5 shrooms. So all those shrooms are actually recorded too. The new ones are. So if I go ahead and shoot it now, you can see we're back at 5. And my score is actually going up at the top. So yeah, I have the first wave done. I'm kind of happy with how it's turning out right now. My to-do list includes going back and adding the state system for my centipede. That's going to be happening this Saturday, actually. Yeah, other than that, I have the HUD display with the scores, the lives, they work. Then I have the player profile, the wave system for all the different waves. I can actually show you it working if you'd like me to. So for instance, just to make something really obvious, I'll turn off the mushroom field, and then I'll go ahead and run the game, and you'll see that immediately once we get in here, there's no mushroom field. So that's how that works for right now. I can show you the code for how I grab the information from there. So that's right here. I know it's a little verbose, but this is the first iteration. This is the first time I've done something like this, so I kind of wanted to just test it out. I felt that personally it would be easier to do it on separate lines, so that way if there was like, he was messing around over here adding things and then he deleted one too many things or something, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But again, I've been talking to my friends and they seem to think that parsing it with a space at the end of each line is a much safer alternative to do it. Obviously, I'm going to add more options too as well. This was just what I was coming up with as I was working on the actual system. But other than that, all of these, this is the initialization. It handles the different things. You can set the length of the centipede. I'll quickly show you that. The number of centipede segments, if we set it to 3, and we just go ahead and run the game, you'll see that there's a centipede of length 3 only. So Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Just to show you that the score is actually working, I'll go ahead and shoot that centipede. So now you can see I have 10 up there. Obviously a flea spawn because there's less than 3 shrooms at the bottom. Yeah, that's what I have for this week, and thank you very much.